saluto a tutti.
What's up, Juventini? Welcome back to the AJCer channel dedicated to Juventus. You can see it's myself, it's Omer, and oh my god, after a long time, happy to have our friend Antonio back. All right, and man, how things have changed. How things have changed around Juventus, man. It's an absolute pleasure having you back with us, man. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. I'm so sorry about the background noise, as you can probably tell with the surroundings. I'm actually on a lay-by just now to make some time, but good to see you guys. Big hi, all the viewers. Looking forward to speaking about Juventus with you, lovely gentlemen.
Oh man, yes, and there's a lot of positivity amongst the fan base, and it's just great. It's a big shift, and we finally committed to something that should have happened for years now, and that is a true rebuild and overhaul. We are going to talk about the finalization of the Mercado. Thank you to everybody for the comments you guys requested. There was quite a few requests for a recap on the Mercado. I put that out. Everybody's checking out. It has good feedback. We'll speak a bit about that. We've got Champions League. Our matches, our fixtures are set up. We will look at that. We've got the last little bit of business for the Mercado. We'll rate that. And then, of course, Juve and Roma, which we will look as well, with some question marks as to what Motta will do in his first test. Well, there are a couple projected lineups in there, and we'll discuss some of the question marks that people had going into this game, all right? But, yeah, a lot to discuss as far as the Mercado, where it ends and everything. And, of course, we got first, my bad, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're coming to us from, to the AJC Army, all right? Everybody in there fired up, ready to go. Juve Roma, sold out crowd. And, Omer, they're going to rock that kit, okay? It's the debut of the third kit, so we're at least going to look lights out on the pitch, and hopefully we match suit with our performance, all right? So, looking forward to seeing the lads in that. Next gen. Couple late pickups in the Mercado. Luis Semedo was one from Sunderland, and then Felix Afena-Gyan, both on loan. Now, Semedo was one that was tipped off that could fit Motta's kind of ideals and everything. Maybe a safety net that they tuck away in next gen to see what will happen. The other thing with the Mercado is free agents are still in play throughout the season. So you never really know, and we'll talk a bit about that as we go. But the big ones were obviously Kostic, Artur, and Giallo all remaining. Artur unable to find anything there, not even a loan. Kostic, he lost his number, you guys. He has to switch up to number 20. He doesn't even get his number as Nico Gonzalez took it and Conceição took the 7. But Giallo, some games from Roma there, obviously, and they did it to another player as well. Someone was telling me on the update videos, but having him there, extensive medicals, but in the background, we always knew they were pushing for one of Hamel's or Hermoso. So I kind of feel for Giallo and his treatment, even from us, kind of. I think it's been a little rough there, but we'll see what happens with integration there. But what'd you guys feel about Kostic, Artur, Giallo? This whole scenario, it was always going to be tough to move those guys, but not even getting a loan. Should we may have given in more on the salary for these guys? Let's start with Antonio.
I was a bit surprised to see Thiago Giallo on the going outs, but on a more personal note, I'm actually quite sad for the guy. I mean, I think if he done his medical and then he was left in a hotel not knowing what was happening, but you don't do that to players. Anyway, I think he's still got a big say in Thiago Motta's setup. Just needs to prove himself. He's versatile. You need to remember as well, he's not played a lot of football, so this is probably his first real crack at it, and I think he still has a future, in my opinion. The one I was really surprised with was Artur. When Thiago Motta's name was mentioned around Juventus, I thought Artur would suit his style, I'll be honest. It's a funny one because technically he's a gifted player. He just lacks that bit of, he needs to be like that every single game. But I don't think any of those three guys will be a permanent fixture in his setup. But we do need a lot of players with 5 competitions, and you never know, there might be a nice surprise there with one of the 3 or possibly even 3.
Yeah, I'd have to agree from a safety net standpoint, it's not going to be a problem. But I feel like in the midfield, it's just stacked. I feel like we are actually stacked in the midfield. I can't see Arthur whatsoever. Um, with Jallo, I think even as a rotational piece, get some minutes here or there. But we could utilize, I believe, even next gen for Jallo at least to get minutes and try to get up to speed where he needs to be. So that one's kind of always been a weird one for me. Kostic, a backup down the line, no problems with it. If we need to go that route, if injuries should take place. But yeah, Omer, your thoughts on kind of those three and what went down?
It's hard for me to see McKenny get any minutes, so let alone Arthur.
Yeah,
Um, but who knows? Like injuries have been one of our worst enemies, so maybe he'll get his chance. Again, it's the contract thing. It, it seems kind of impossible. Selling him, even loaning him, became impossible. So it is what it is. We're still paying for the mistakes other general directors did. We knew that it would come to it, so we have nothing else we can do.
yeah,
Kostic, I mean, we knew some guys were going to get reintegrated. I don't think Kostic is that bad of an option to have, mainly because most of our guys are natural right wingers. Like left wingers, it's basically only Mbangula and maybe Yildiz. I'm not sure what he's going to play with him yet.
yeah.
So maybe he'll get some minutes. Maybe he can be useful. Some Copa games, some minor games in the league after Champions League.
Yeah.
And besides that, I don't know. A big squad can be useful. We'll see how it plays out. Maybe some of them will redeem themselves. And Jalo is a curious case. I don't know what to make of it. The signing, the leaving Inter in the last minute to come to Juve. The, no idea what's going on with him. There's apparently an issue with the injury. I don't know what Roma was trying to do. But here we are. So as far as CBs go, he actually has the highest chance of playing out of all those guys.
Yeah,
And yeah, that's the
none of
case.
them are on the squad list. For anybody concerned or wondering, all right, after this game, we know we've got a 2 week international break, to which we hear the good news that Cope Miners will not be going with the Dutch national side, so he will be remaining. He's going to be fully integrating into Motta's game and everything, which is fantastic news for us, all right? But that was really the finish for the Mercado, is obviously the two pickups for next gen and then not being able to get things cleaned up with Kostic, Artur, and Jallo. So your Mercado finishes out. Again, just a quick recap. These are the goodbyes we said. Szczesny, Rugani on a loan. Illing Jr., Deschilio on a loan. Rabio, Barnechea, Miretti on a loan. Chiesa, Kane, Sule, Caio Jorge, Nonje on a loan with option to purchase to Troyes. And then you have Hans Nicolucci Caviglia, loan obligation, Venezia. Gori on a loan. Facundo Gonzalez on a loan with option, I believe. Ake, Frabotta, Alexandro, De Winter, and Hassa. Wow. So a lot of goodbyes there. Your incoming, obviously, Thiago Motta as coach, but Di Gregorio, Cabal, Kalulu, Douglas Luiz, Turam, Coop Miners, Adzic, Nico Gonzalez, and then Francisco Conceição. So you've got to rate this Mercado. And as far as the finances go, I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it was, 162.8 million is what we spent. And outgoing, we received 103.5 million, so 59.3 million to the negative. However, it's going to be fine with extra added revenue, and the fact that those are just straight up numbers. In football, we know amortization based on terms. It was actually fantastic work from Juntali. So score this Mercado. Omar, we start with you. Your rating and your thoughts on this window, Juntali.
Okay, I may want to divide it because if we're talking incomings and players signed, then that's a 9.5 for me. Departures, I would give it a 6. Okay, that's the way I maybe a 7. Okay, let's go with a 7. And we could have gotten possibly more money for Chiesa, at least expected. Sule was an unexpected signing. And there are some positives like Keane, but like we just said, Arthur is still here. Kostic is still here. Rabiot left on the free. The Shilio termination. Tech termination. I mean, some of those deals could have been handled differently. So if we summarize, like I'd give it probably 8.5.
Eight and a
Seems fair.
half in total. Okay, which is still a
Yeah.
strong
Yeah.
score. So,
Very strong
yeah.
Mercado.
Anto, thoughts on the Mercado and your rating for it?
I'll start with my rating. Not far off what Omer said. 9 out of 10 for me. I think it's been a very, very good Mercado. I think it's been a Mercado tailored for Thiago Motta, and that you need to remember, not underestimate how important that is when a coach like him comes in and rejects all the offers he had, because he did have concrete offers from other big sides. So he believed in the project, and we had to give him a team that he needed to perform. You just need to see what Thiago Motta has done in the last 2 games without all his main players, your Cup Miners, Douglas Luiz, Thuram. They haven't been there, and look at the difference he's made already. You can see his ideas coming through, and I think he's been our best signing, Thiago Motta. It's easy to pick out Cup Miners, Douglas Luiz, Kefren Thuram, but we've got a proper coach there. We have got a manager who's got fresh ideas, looks as if he's made of the same material of like your Artetas of the world, your Xabi Alonso's. We need to don't underestimate just what kind of coach we've got. And I don't know if you've seen the video of Cup Miners when he arrived at training, and there was that dialogue with Thiago Motta. I mean,
10 times.
you just need to words. You know, it's a different mindset. It's new. We should be very excited for what the future holds. As I say, and I think this year we're going to have a lot of happy times, in my opinion.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so, and I think I'd have to agree too. I think we're in for a great season to at least, like, when it comes to a building block season. This is massive, and that's why this Mercado gets such a high score for me too. When you break down those incoming deals, everything's on installments too. So Cope Miners, 54.7, 6 million bonus, but 5-year installments. Douglas Luiz, 51.5 million, 4 years payable. Everyone else down the line, Thuram, Cabal, Gonzalez, 3 years payable. So they spread everything out. Is that going to affect us moving forward in the future? Yes, but because you've got so much of this overhaul done right now, you're going to be just filling the gaps as we move forward. So now you've got your base built, and unless something goes sideways with some of these guys, which could happen, then your base is set, and you're just adding up and cleaning things up and rounding out the squad from here on out. So they've set themselves up brilliantly. And the fact that everything's kind of in installments will help us along the road as well. So it was a brilliant piece of work. For me, it's a 9 out of 10 because anything higher than that would have been practically flawless. Now, we could say that, you wanted a Vice Vlahovic, you wanted a stronger defender to probably come in. I myself think the defense is going to be okay, even in terms of coverage and everything. If I'm talking about the Vice Vlahovic, I think personally, Motta's probably got a plan to utilize somebody as kind of like a hybrid style player that we already have there. Nico Gonzalez has done that and has experience in playing as a false nine back in the day. And who knows, maybe Yildiz, as he has played everywhere across the top in a 4-2-3-1 previously as well coming up. I don't know what his plans are, but I really do feel like Giuntoli went after everything Motta could have possibly wanted. And at the end of the day, the hits, Douglas Luiz came out of nowhere early on, and that kind of started it. The rest, yeah, we had to wait quite a bit for the rest, but you've brought in the Serie A award-winning goalkeeper, Di Gregorio, okay? You've cleaned up salary quite nicely. You brought everybody in. Nobody that came in got a higher salary than Chiesa, than he was currently on. So you've done well as terms of the salary. So if we get stuck somewhere, we're not going to be stuck with these guys. They're on the right terms if something were to go sideways and we had to say move them or something. So for me,
Hmm.
yeah, it's a 9 out of 10. Perfect would have been also dealing with Artur, Kostic, and not getting stuck on some of those guys. And like Omer said, maybe getting a bit more money here and there. But 9 still for me, even with departures considered, because it was always an uphill battle with what he walked into. That roster, the fact that so many guys were on expiring contracts, massive, massive work for Giuntoli. All right, so great work there. Now we get our Champions League matches laid out. All right, and that's been the big question right now, how we think Juve is going to fare. So let's go through these fixtures. PSV, Eindhoven is where we're going to start, obviously at home. That's September 17th. We're going to have Leipzig, all right, on October 2nd. You're going to have Stuttgart October 22nd at home. Travel to Lille. You're going to have travel to Aston Villa before December 11th, hosting Man City. And then, of course, we're going to close things out with Club Brugge and Benfica. If you had to throw out a number there, fellas, first of all, what do you think about the draw in terms of opponents? And how many points do you see Juve getting out of these possible 24 points? Anto?
I think it's a good draw. It could be a lot worse. I think this new format, you were always going to get hard games and easier games, let's say. I know an easy game doesn't exist nowadays, but apart from the Man City game, I think it's a very doable group or doable set of games. I truly believe, apart from the Man City game, we could win most of the home games. I don't think Aston Villa away is particularly tricky, even though Unai Emery's teams are hard to break down. Leipzig, I think we played them away. Is that right, Al? Yeah.
Leipzig is going to be away, yes.
That could be a tricky one again. Leipzig is another team who likes to play football. But I think all in, I think it's a good draw for Juventus, definitely.
Yeah, I'd have to agree too. Omer, your thoughts on the draw and points? How many points do you think we're going to come up? If you had to guess.
I'd say we're winning 5 at least. I think there will be like 1, maybe 2 losses and a draw. And just as a whole, I think it's super interesting. Like you get to play 8 teams, 8 different games instead of 3 teams in 6 games. Like when you get Man City in your group, then that's like 6 points that you're not going to get. So it's going to be an uphill battle, and you gotta win your different games. But now, it's not that big of a deal, and they're playing towards the end, so we know. Like I think it's the 3rd game from the end, so we'll know kind of where we stand in the league, and if it's a must-win. I think it's also a good measuring stick to see where we stand compared to Europe's best, let's say, to the top teams. And 4th part, I think, like we got the 2 teams that we should have avoided, Stuttgart and Aston Villa, but still, I think we're better than them and we should win. We have to see how it rolls out. But all in all, I think it's super interesting the way it's done now. I like it. Like the two last games are in January. I think the last game is in 29th of January. And so, yeah, we have to see how it plays out. Of course, the goal is to get promoted immediately without any qualification games or knockout games. And so, yeah, I'm actually super excited. It seems nice. We play the hardest game at home. So that should be sick. Maybe I'll even try to catch that game.
Nice.
And go to Italy to see it. I'll see if I can pull it off. And that's about it.
You're right. January 29th will be the last one against Benfica. Couple things for me on my thoughts on this is I like the spread. I like the way the actual opponents are spread when you're guessing at difficulty of the matches. Like I like Man City being December 11th. I like the fact that we're hosting them, right? Gives Motta more time, right? Motta gets more time with his guys to get ready, prep for those guys. The fact Aston Villa will be before Man City, I like that as well. Kicking things off with, kicking off with a home match, a very winnable match is great. Traveling to Leipzig will be tricky. That's going to be a tricky fixture for sure. Stuttgart at home, again, confident there. Lille on the road. confident there. Club Brugge on road, confident there. Benfica this season, actually confident. That's the very last one, and we host them. I like that too. I see somewhere around 16 points here, probably for Juve. If I'm going to throw a guess out there right now, somewhere around 16 points. And where that takes us, obviously, we wait and see. But there's a big playoff thing too. And this format, what do we think about the format? It's almost like somebody before spoke of something very similar.
Have you
Turning
seen
it
the
into
video? Have you seen the video they directed with Cheferin and Zlatan? And
yeah,
Zlatan says it's
yeah,
almost
that
like a super. Don't say. Come on, you're a child.
I know.
You're,
It's just it just adds to the thoughts and feelings towards Sefrin. The guy is just such a tool. Okay, but yeah, to Agnelli, props there because it sucks, but they essentially took that whole thing because that's exactly what we were looking at now. But I don't mind this format, to be honest.
no,
I
I
think
actually think it's great.
yeah,
It created tons of big games overall to
yeah,
watch. And not every game, like we can afford to lose to Man City and still qualify. It's not the be all end all.
yeah.
And yeah, I like it.
I
I like the
think
way it shaped out.
the digs at Super League and whatever and Sefrin, that wasn't the worst part of the whole ceremony and everything. I think probably when Ronaldo called
Yeah.
Gianluigi Buffon Giorgio was probably the most upsetting thing about that. I'm like,
Oh.
what are you talking about? Who's
Well, he
Giorgio?
was fucking furious. They called him all the way from Saudi Arabia to press this ridiculous button, and he was pissed.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And in the build-up behind the scenes, they showed him specifically how to push the button. He's like, it's a button, you guys. Come on. And they had to teach him how to push the button the specific way. It was pretty funny. It was comedy. But Champions League upon us. I'm honestly just happy to see Juve back in this thing. All right. And I think we can make some noise and do some damage as far as, like I've always said, I just want Juve to be that team that nobody wants to face. And just be a thorn in these other team sides. Quick things before we get to Juve Roma. Vlahovic, the August MVP. Any disagreements there?
No, I thought he was very unlucky not to score in the first match and embrace in the second. He could have easily given it to Mbangula or Ildiz, but I think Vlahovic is well deserved.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anto, agree?
100%. 100%.
There we go. I got no problems with it. All right. And then we got that new... So the third, obviously, that Omer is rocking here. That's going to be debuted today. But did you guys catch the training gear that came out?
Sick.
It's pretty
It's
fantastic.
not the only one. Like if
What's
you go
that?
through it's not the only one. Like if you go through the catalog on the website, there are some diamonds out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, this third retro gear though, and I will pull it up here so we can all kind of take a look at it. But man, it is just unbelievable, unbelievable to me. We got to get Anto in this particular screen. 1 second. There we go. Let me delete this old one here. I wasn't going to get to this, but I got to show it because people have been going nuts and wondering if it's already available. It's not available yet. It's going to be later on. But, man, this is just class. Like, that's just class.
Yeah, just straight out of the 1980s. That's how
Take my
everything
money.
was back then.
Take all my money. All right? All over this stuff. All over this stuff. The retro gear. Adidas gets a lot of flack for from Juve fans and everything. But if you guys had the choice to go back to Nike, would you make that switch right now?
Not a chance.
No.
No? Okay.
No, I don't think so.
Justin gives me the gears all the time. Our friend Justin there says Nike always better. And I said I had to respectfully disagree. I like Adidas. I prefer Adidas. If you had the chance to switch to Kappa right now, would you?
To Kappa. Actually, Kappa has sick kits, but we wouldn't get the same amount of money. No,
Let's just
I
say
want the
that's not a
money.
factor. Would you switch to Kappa?
Yeah, why not? Kappa
Anto,
hasn't
would
done
you go to
anything.
Kappa?
Well, you know me, I'm a 90s kid, but no, I like what Adidas are doing this year, not only with Juventus. I don't know if you've seen the trailer with Del Piero, Zidane, Schweinsteiger,
Yeah.
all the third kits, the one that Omer's rocking just now, for not just Juventus this year, look really, really nice. So
Yeah.
I would stick with this just now. Although the Kappa Juventus kits were stunning.
Umbro. Holy, back to the Vinnie Jones days. I'm
Oh,
thinking there with
love them.
Umbro. All right, but we got to get to business. Business at hand today. The first test, some call it, first real test for Motta against Roma. Despite not the best start for Roma, we still expect their best. Motta talked about it in his presser. We'll get to his pressers and everything, but he expects the absolute best from them, and he says we will 100% be ready. As far as his pressers go, man, I really like them. Like, they're just straightforward, to the point. He doesn't really sugarcoat anything, and he didn't through the Mercado as well. But, man, he seems no nonsense and all business, and I love it. I love it. Any thoughts just on his presser so far? Any little notes, anything you're taking from it, or how his approach is? I like the fact he said already, this was one thing that stuck out to me. I'm not listening to the praise nor the criticism because it's so early. All I'm focused on is the next game. That's it. The next game. One by one. That's the way it's got to be. You know, he opened himself up to criticism before he even got the job, saying he knows what it's like to be at a big club. Juventus will be no different. The scrutiny, the criticism, it's all fair and warranted because the expectations are high. So he's never backed or shy away from that, but I really like his pressers. Anto.
I think one thing I have noticed and obviously with the Como presser and the Verona one, the narrative's changed a lot of the questions that are asked to him because Motta only wants to talk football. He's a football guy. He's not interested in Mercado. They tried to touch on it a few times and he shut them down completely. You can see by his face as well that, as you said, Al, he's not one to be messed with. I think he's very straight to the point. And I think the journalists now have quickly worked that out, that his way of communicating is not the same way that Allegri maybe communicated. And I think we've been needing that as well for a long time, the way that this club communicates in pressers, or the manager communicates rather. And it's nice to have a coach that wants to talk about football. That's why we're here. That's why we love the sport, why we love the team, as I say. So it's nice, and I think the narrative's certainly changing.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Omer, any thoughts on Motta and his kind of approach through pressers?
To be completely honest, I think he's kind of boring, and I absolutely love it. I think that's the way to go.
Yeah.
And Zidane, when he coached Real Madrid, it was like that. It was super
Yeah.
boring in interviews, but then afterwards, you saw videos come out of the dressing room, and that's where he does the talking. That's where he says everything that needs to be said. So yeah, just don't give them anything. Like Allegri loved the press. He loved the being there and answering the questions with some, let's call it, Italian sass, and getting all of them worked up because of things he said. Motta is kind of boring, and I love it. That's how it should be. I don't remember Lippi being any at any dimes when he when he was giving interviews. And the talk should be with the team. Everything they do for the press is just nonsense, and they would happily give it up. And everything
Yeah.
is going well now, so there's not a lot to say. Like, it gets interesting when things are going bad.
And that's what I was going to say. It'll be interesting to see the demeanor because it's going to happen. I would love for us not to hit any adversity. It's going to happen. Motta's going to face adversity at some point, and that's when it's going to be really interesting to see the demeanor and everything. But as far as what I like to hear and what we've seen in even training videos and everything, he seems very much hands-on. And that also is kind of like Giuntoli, because Giuntoli's everywhere around the club. Like, I think he eats his lunches in the cafeteria with the players, to be honest. Like, he's everywhere in the locker rooms. And Motta, even through training, what I'm hearing from guys around it is he's like hands-on. Yes, he's got his coach that runs certain drills and everything, but he's getting in there. He's actually speaking to a lot of these guys individually, and he's very, very hands-on. He's not standing back from afar. Obviously, he does that at moments too, but he's very, very much hands on. It's going to be interesting to see. Two of the things I'll be looking at with Motta and Juve. Number one, for Juve, if we can avoid these scenarios with contracts and players where we lose value and everything, and then losing value, who can Motta improve? So those are the two things I'm going to be looking at as this thing kind of evolves with this group, is if they can avoid situations with key assets losing value and being stuck contractually, and then of course how many guys we can actually boost their value. That's what's going to be, we're going to have eyes on with that group. But it's exciting times. Now, as far as Roma goes, well, De Rossi's going to be pretty much with a full-strength squad. Only Enzo Lefebvre is the absentee for this trip, okay? And we are going to see a few changes there for him. It looks like Sule and Dybala are going to partner up behind Dobbik, that new striker that they signed for this season. Leandro Paredes is expected to be in the midfield with Cristante and Pellegrini. So 4-3-2-1 is what we're looking at with them. Svilar, Selic, Mancini, Indica, Angelino, Cristante, Paredes, Pellegrini, with Dybala and Sule behind Dobbik. So we'll see again. In these games, form kind of doesn't really matter, right? Because they're going to be getting after it. Everybody gets up to play Juventus right now. So we'll see how it goes for Juve. Hey, we're rolling to start things off. 6 goals scored, 0 allowed. We're going to want to keep that clean sheet first and foremost. And yeah, we'll see. Still Thuram is out. Weah's out. Adsic still out. And Milik as well. Those are still the same absentees as we had last season. Your new players, Gonzalez, Conceição, Cole Miners, have all arrived. They are on the squad list. A lot of talk about Gonzalez potentially starting, and that would have shifted things at the back line. That's really our biggest question. The probable lineup, obviously 4-2-3-1, Di Gregorio, Savona, Gatti, Bremer, Cabal, Fagioli, Locatelli, Cambiaso, Yildiz, Imbangula, and Vlahovic. So the question has to be asked, as this is what's going around, merit or trust? Do you change something at that back line? Do you feel confidence in the first major test to still roll with Savona out as right back? Or would we not have been better to utilize Gonzalez and drop Cambiaso back? How do you guys feel about it? What do you think about this game and that projected lineup? Let's kick things off with Anto.
I think we'll need to get used to surprises this year with Thiago Motta's lineup. And we all know now it's no surprise that he plays players who merit it, meaning whoever trains the hardest and shows a bit more, then they will start, as I say. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the same team start tonight as started the last 2 games. But I do think Douglas Luiz will have a big chance tonight, and I actually think he'll start in the midfield. But I don't know. I think there will be surprises tonight. I've actually read about Nico Gonzalez possibly starting, moving Cambiaso back into Savona's spot. I think that's one to watch. But I think overall for the game tonight, it's there to be won. I think Roma have got serious problems. I've watched a few of the highlights in the last couple of games. They really struggle in transitional periods. I think they'll play a game tonight where they'll sit, be compact, and try to possibly hit Juventus on the break. I think we'll have a lot of the ball tonight, which it's refreshing. But I think the game's there to be won tonight. I don't fear Roma at all. And I think if we start with the same team again, we can certainly cause problems.
Yeah, absolutely. No fear, that's for sure. Omer, your thoughts?
Yeah, so usually we're doing quite well against Roma at home. Based on the first 2 games, they were awful. Like we should be running them over based on how we look, the intensity, the speed in which we built attacks. They were super slow. They had no wing play. Now they have signed Hermoso and Salamakers. Hermoso won't play today. I think he only signed. And maybe Salamakers will be there. I'm not sure. But again, it's Roma. Like you said, those games form kind of gets kicked out the window. Don't know what to make of it, of the lineup. The second option of going back to what we had against Como seems the more logical one. I do want Cambiaso back there, and we have 2 right wingers on the bench, I would have preferred to use them. But Motta has so far proved that his choices were right on the nose. So
Yeah.
that's what I don't think we're going to see exactly what we've seen last week, but something quite similar. Like Mbangula must be a lock, Yildiz, Vlahovic, Bremer,
I don't.
Cabal.
I same thing. I feel like we'll see at least one change because that projected lineup is the exact same. I feel like we'll see one change. As far as trust in Savona, whatnot, I actually never even crossed my mind, but I saw the comments coming in on some of the update videos as we get ready for this game, and I think I just don't have really concerns about him because he plays such a simple game, such a simple and straightforward game, and he hasn't really given me any concerns. Even with Cabal I think has been a beast, but he's got his errors here and there on the ball in passing, but so have all the guys. Bremer has, Gatti has. At the end of the day, we've cleaned it up quite well. I would agree with Anto's kind of expectations here that we're going to be on the ball a lot. I actually think we're going to beat up Roma today, everybody. Like, I actually think we're going to beat them up pretty good. They might find a goal against us because, yeah, Dybala can cause problems. If he gets the right amount of space, something could happen. We can be susceptible to some open spaces, but we've shut it down pretty good in the first two games. I don't know if Di Gregorio's faced more than 2 shots, like actually on target. 1 on target in both games. Yeah, I think we're going to beat him up. I think we're going to beat him up, everybody. And we are going to get to Storm the Barn. You guys get your Storm the Barn questions in now. Let's get prepped for it. But we're going to go through key stats and then give our predictions. Juve have won 13 of their last 15 at home against Roma. Okay? Juve has kept a clean sheet in their last 3 matches in Serie A, obviously dating back to last season. AS Roma have won 1 of their last 9 matches in all competitions. Okay? And Roma have yet to pick up first win in Serie A, and I don't see it happening today. It's time for the predictions. You guys know how we rock it here. It's final score and 2 tiebreakers. Omer, you have the pleasure of kicking things off for us.
Okay, first of all, you've got to get into gear because it seems like Inter are, and they're still banging in the goals, so Juve can't let up. Now, it's either like a dodgy 1-0 win or like a blow, like a 4-1. I don't know. I'm going with another 3-0. Like
another one. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, and please, God, just don't let Dybala, Sule, or Paredes score. That's it. I don't mind if Roma score one, but just not one of those guys. Other 2 tiebreakers. I think Dusan gets a goal, and I think one of the subs, one of the new signings, will also get one.
Oh, okay. Little cameo goal. I like it. I like
the
it.
The debut goals are kind of working great now.
There we go.
So
there we
far,
go. Anto, time for the prediction, man.
I was going to go 3-0, but I don't want to be the same as Omer, so I'm going to say 2-0.
No, go 3-0. Go 3-0. Don't question yourself.
Let's go 3 then. Let's go 3. Let's go 3-0.
Share the spoils.
For me, the tiebreaker is going to be Dusan again. I think Dusan's going to score a lot of goals this year. I think he came in for unfair criticism against Como. I mean, on another night, he could have had a hat trick and he would be sitting in, was it 4 goals? Has he scored 2 against Verona? Yeah. It was.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he could be easily sitting on 5 goals just now, 4 goals, let's just say. So, I think Dusan 2, and I think Yildiz will get off the mark as well.
Yeah, I like the shout for the Yildiz goal.
Yeah.
I'm going to go... the funny thing was I was going to say 3-0. Do they get one maybe? Do we finally concede one here today? I don't know. Roma hasn't looked very good. We're at home for this one too. It's going to be a packed house. The place should be rocking with all the enthusiasm around us. I think Roma's in tough. I do like the clean sheet, so I am going to stick with the clean sheet just to be a little bit different. So do I go higher? Do I throw a 4-0? Do we get 4 today? Do I go absolutely crazy, or do I just say the 2-0? I do feel we'll beat them up pretty good, but maybe we'll go with 2. So I'm going to go 2-0. I'm going to say I like the Yildiz shout for getting on the score sheet. I will say that. And I'm going to say that maybe the other goal is off a set piece. Okay, so 1 goal off a set piece. Those are going to be my tiebreakers. So there you go. We got 3-0 from Omer, Anto, and I'm going to go with 2-0. And Eric's in here as well. And he has said that he is going to do a giveaway through us, of course, the AJC. If Juve scores 3 goals and wins the game, Eric's going to rock the next giveaway, all right? And again, we haven't even discussed the details. I just saw your tweet there, and I was curious if what are we giving away? A kit? Are we giving away a kit? Or are we giving away some merch? We'll see what it is, but maybe we'll rock a kit. We'll rock a kit with Eric there, all right? So, yeah, the watch-along is happening today. I'll be on 20 minutes before kickoff. I'm absolutely jacked for this one, everybody. So hope to see you all there for that one. And all the... look at the change in all the positivity. Look at all these score lines. 4-1, 4-0. We got a 5-0 out there. Holy smokes. I'd love to see 5, okay? But we're going to get to Storm the Barn. Before we do that, though, Anto, are you still good? Do you have to get going? How much time do you have left with us?
Another 10 minutes, guys, and then I'll leave you.
Fantastic. All right. So Eric's going to go merchandise. No problem. We'll get the brand exposure. I'll double it down with a kit today, okay? 3 goals and another Juve victory. We're going to have a kit to a lucky subscriber, okay? So we're going to get 2 giveaways. Where did our best midfielder, Rabiot, land?
Well, in Ibiza last time I've seen.
Yeah, he's just chilling there. To be fair, okay, let's talk free agents. When's he getting picked up? You know somebody's going to pick him up, right? An injury will happen or something. How long do you think?
It.
Yeah.
The first team to get an injury, a serious injury to one of their midfielders, and who can pay him. It seems like he doesn't want to go below the salary that he got at Juve. So my guess would be Manchester United. And I don't know how the law works, if they can just sign wherever they want, whenever they want. Let's say in about 3 weeks. End
3
of
weeks
September
time?
sounds fine. Yeah.
Okay. Robbie, you think he's going to land somewhere, obviously, in the next month, Anto?
Before I give a prediction, it just shows the level of dedication of this guy. You know, that someone of that status for the French national, he's not even without a team. So I think I can seriously see him going to someone like Chelsea if they get an injury, somewhere where it's just complete disarray, no structure. Because who really is going to take a gamble on that guy? High salary demands, not done a pre-season with anyone. For me, I would stay well clear. So I could see him at someone like Chelsea, a Manchester United, or even Milan. They've got their own problems just now, but I think the salary is a bit much for them.
There was a report today that from Nicolas Kira that Max Allegri is ready to get back to training, and he already had several offers. So wherever he lands, there's a huge option to take Rabiot with him.
There you go. Yeah. So Rabiot and Allegri want to become the Conte Lukaku, maybe. So maybe that's what's going on, okay? So who knows? But as far as Juve, to spin this question into free agency and whatnot, do you see Juve acting on free agency before January Mercato and making any touch-ups if need be? Do you see us splashing into free agency at all?
No.
Okay.
No, I think the only thing that was left was kind of a Vice Vlahovic. And I told you last podcast we did that I would love it if there was been some next-gen player who could actually get promoted and have some minutes. And now they have signed two strikers,
Yeah.
and Asamoah, no, not Asamoah, Gian,
Semedo.
the guy, Semedo and Gian.
Yeah.
And Gian has already played in Serie A for Roma. He even scored 2 goals on his debut. The story with Mourinho and the shoes and everything. So I don't see Juve signing anyone. I think they'll promote one of those guys if
Yeah.
needed.
Yeah. I'd have to agree. And Anto doesn't believe we touch free agency before January Mercado. And as far as the January window, we'll wait and see if we even need to go there. I think January might be used to make some final pushes for certain guys that we didn't get to say goodbye to already. Now, George coming in here. Should we pay close attention to Scalvini after he returns from injury? I think he is the perfect fit next to Bremer. I'll be quite honest with you, George, before I put this out to Anto and Omer. I'm kind of done dealing with Atalanta. We got Coop, and I think from that point on, for them, one of these is fine. We knew about Scalvini's demands when the rumors were going around. We saw Cope Miner's demands and how it all went down. I am perfectly fine not dealing with Atalanta, okay? Again, we've got the base built. We've done our work. From here on out, I think Giuntoli has kept all the receipts on how things go now that he's finding out. You know, it's trial by fire. Now he knows what it's like to be at Juventus. This isn't Napoli. So now he's seen it, and I think he's going to act accordingly in the future. But for me, Scalvini too, like high potential, good defender there in a back three on that left outside, but I don't go crazy for him. Like I don't know what it is. I don't go crazy for Scalvini. But Anto, your thoughts on Scalvini and paying close attention to him?
Al, you worded it perfectly. You took words right in my mouth, to be honest with you. I mean, after the Cop Miners deal with Atalanta, which turned out to be a saga, to be honest with you, and the way that Roma, on a more kind of human level, dealt with Giallo, I'm just done doing any dealings with Serie A sides, to be honest with you. So I don't see Scalvini coming back into the Juventus rumours. I think we'll stay the way we are in defence. And like I said at the start of the show, I think if Thiago Diallo puts the work in, he could potentially throw himself into contention again. There's a lot of games to be played. There will be injuries, there will be ups and downs, as I say, and I think at the moment it's not complete at the back. I will say that. However, I think, like you said, Al, I think we'll stay as is in defence.
There you go. There you go. Omer, any thoughts on Scalvini there?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with both of you. I do think there's a good player there. I think he's good for Atalanta. I don't want to deal with them anymore. They will ask for another 60 million. That's a player now post ACL injury.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think there are enough options out there to not go for another Atalanta defender.
There you go. There you go. We're all kind of on the same page there with that one. Let's keep it rocking. Forza Juve coming in here, assuming we still would have found teams for Barnechea and Illing Jr. By the way, Barnechea at Sevilla, if I'm not mistaken, and Illing Jr. Bologna. So it didn't work out with Aston Villa for both of these guys, and they both got sent out. To raise money, would you rather have spent the 15 million we purchased Luiz for on Calafiori? Coop, Fagioli, and Thuram is still a win. So would I have rather not brought in Luiz for Calafiori? Oof. I don't think so. I don't think so personally, because I think that the price was too much. Personally, that's me personally. I think all our key guys, like, those prices were so high, right? No. And Luiz, I get it. His price is high and stuff, but you're getting like a guarantee. As close to a guarantee as you can at that price. He's coming from the Prem, okay? He's, over the past 2 years, running most set piece chances created, most chances created, and second in like tackles or interceptions, some defensive statistic. You're getting a solid player there in an area that needed a lot of work. Thuram is a great piece of business there for the future and what can happen there and build. Like, he's not necessarily there now. So I'm going to say personally, no, because I think the Calafiori price was very much inflated. Very, very much inflated. So for me, I'm happy with the way the business panned out. Omer?
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Like Luis, let's not forget the midfield was our main objective going into the summer. Luis
Yep.
was an early deal. You had no guarantee that Coop Miners would land. Like you had to take care of that first, and signing both Turam and him early in June was important. The defense wasn't our like biggest issue last season, and even though we did sign both Cabal and Kalulu, yeah, Calafiori would have been massive. Uh, Having said that, I don't want to give the money to
Yeah.
Italian teams, and here, see what they did with the money. They look like shit now. Bologna.
And he's on the bench at Arsenal there,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
it's a bad decision. In the end, he's going to come back, and we'll pick him up on the
Yeah,
rebound, and we
it will
won't
be
have to
like a
deal.
Barzali deal.
And we
Like
won't have
we're
to
gonna
deal
get
in Italy. But it's a great
yeah.
question. That's a great question, first off. And you could see some picks for Calafiori over Luis. Anto, love to hear your take on this.
Omer again took the words out of my mouth. The Juventus problem's been midfield for how long now? I've lost count, to be honest with you. We really had to up our quality, and we had to also have to up our numbers in the midfield because, like I said, it's 50 odd games, maybe more, hopefully, a season, not including international games. Motta plays with a two-man pivot, as we've seen in the both games. So if you're giving yourself options like Thuram, Douglas Luiz, Locatelli, Fagioli, even Cop Miners can play in that. He's an all-round midfielder, and we've also got Adzic as well. That's almost 5 midfielders for 2 slots, but they're 5 quality midfielders. Being over in the UK, I'm a bit of a Prem head. I know you won't like that, Al. As I say, I watch most Premier League games. Douglas Luiz is a phenomenal player. Let me just put my neck on the line here. For me, he was up there in the best 3 midfielders last season, without a shadow of a doubt. He's been a huge investment. He will start to get up to speed with Motta's tactics, and I thoroughly believe that he will be a permanent fixture in that midfield. But I would never have given 50 million for Calafiori. I think it was ridiculous. I think he's a 30 million player at best. I'll be honest with you. And like you said, Al, there's a good chance he'll be coming back on loan because the Premier League's such a unforgiving league. One bad game and you're almost forgotten about. You know, look at Chelsea; they've got 9 goalkeepers. So
Yeah.
it really is. Guys, I'm going to have to run, so I'm so sorry. I'll leave you. I'll leave you be. It's been lovely catching up with you. I'm really sorry for the viewers.
No, it's all good. It's been amazing having you back. We're happy to welcome Anto back into the AJC. He's never left. He's always been part of the team, man. And it's great to see you again, brother. And we look forward to having you on more shows, man. So take care. Enjoy your day. And, of course, Forza Juve. Let's get this.
Omer, before I go, I managed to get Oasis tickets to go and see them at Edinburgh. So I
No
managed to get
way.
Nice.
No way.
There you go. There you
I'll
go.
leave you
I'm
Lovely.
super jealous.
Okay. Take care. Take care, brother. Ciao.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
All right, everybody. So we're going to keep it rocking with Storm the Barn. We're so pumped to
Let's
get
continue.
Anto back.
Let's continue that question. I have an interesting one.
Okay.
If Arsenal come with an offer, Vlahovic for Calafiori, and Juve sign Osimhen, would you do that deal next
So
summer?
obviously we see that going on in the chat here. A lot of
It came up.
discussion
Okay, sorry, I
there.
didn't read the chat.
Yeah, so I think it was Adam that fired up, say Arsenal will try to swap Cala for Dushan.
So, credit to Adam for the idea.
And then, okay, so let me wrap my head around this. Calafiori for Vlahovic, and then we pick up Osimhen?
Yeah.
Vlahovic's salary is insane. It's gonna be an issue. What's Osimhen's salary? 10 mil?
Yeah.
Is that net?
It's-
Probably net.
I'm not into Napoli that much. I know he makes a lot of money. That's basically.
The only thing that makes you question that is Dushan's massive wages, okay? And I will say this. if we sort out Vlahovic's wages, I am more than fine with him sticking around. And if the wages are settled, no, the only thing that would make me think about this is his wages. And if those don't get sorted out, then I think I would think about it if Osimhen was in fact that option coming in. But honestly, I personally want to roll with Vlahovic. But it's also terribly concerning, his wages. Where are you at on this?
Oh, I'm a hard no. Absolutely.
I'm not a hard no. I'm a no. But those wages, like that's the only consideration.
Yeah, he needs to prove he deserves it. Then it's not an issue. Osimhen won't demand a lot less than what Dusan had, and yeah, he's kind of, it's his antics behind the scene, and it's always like the sulking and going live on Instagram and just shitting on everyone. It's telling his agent to crap on Kvara. In the media, there are just so many issues with this guy in a team that he's been the best player of. That I wouldn't trade Dusan, who wants to be here, who loves Juve, who values the club, for a guy who just couldn't find a club. So no.
Yeah, it's...
And dealing with Napoli, come on, we're going to overpay.
Yeah.
No matter how badly they
I was looking at it at the first stage. Like, just Calafiori for Dusan, okay? Like, for me, like, Dusan, that wage is going to be an issue. Guys, we're probably going to deal with this after this season. Like, it's probably going to be some type of situation in Saga. I'm hoping that things go so well that Vlahovic is just like, no, you know what? I need to remain here. I'm hoping that he thrives. Motta's game's cooking. The team's doing well. And that he's like, yeah, you know what? Let's clean this up. I want to stay here and I want to help the club, right? Hopefully, that's the case. But
now, yeah, if you take Osimhen out of the equation,
yeah, let's take that out of the equation and just...
Then there's something to talk about. But I need to see the rest of the season, how good Dusan is going to be and how good Calafiori is going to be.
Yeah, and the only reason, because like I said, I want to roll with Vlahovic. The only reason there's any question around this guy is that wage. I think if his wage was healthier, fine, and not so intense, I don't think we have any problems. And I don't think he's under so much scrutiny for half the stuff that's out there, other than some normal play issues like touch and stuff like that. I think that salary just inflates everything and puts him under a bigger microscope, which is normal. With that wage, he is so much higher.
I think they're going to solve it either way. Like, they're going to spread it out. They're going to have a nice deal with him. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be an issue. Like when... Oh, not that guy.
Oh, this guy can't. I mean, good morning.
Yeah. Good morning. Oh, I thought he was still off the air. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Feel welcomed.
Double his salary.
What's that?
Yeah.
On his salary?
Double it.
Double it? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
We got his agent, everybody. Vlahovic's agent. Welcome to the show. Okay? Ready to go. Juve Roma. We dropped our predictions already. We're just going through Storm the Barn. But what's your prediction today?
I put it in the chat. 5-1.
5-1. Woo!
Sorry. 4-1. 4-1, I said.
Jeez. Nah, that's nothing.
What's your tiebreakers?
Vlahovic with a brace. I'll take 2-0 lead at halftime.
Oh. Okay.
And I will take over 60% possession.
All right. Wow.
We're rolling right now. We are rolling.
Okay. You guys heard it from the guy there. So we'll talk. We're going to wrap things up on the whole Calafiori thing and any potential swaps. We're going to get to the next Storm the Barn here. I know it's Inter, but how did you feel about that demolition job on the self-proclaimed clown show Atalanta? Kind of serves them right for screwing around with Juve. I mean, it's just... if I look at
What was the score?
Atalanta even last season, okay, and last season was the season they won Europa, okay, but they were so hit and miss in league play, especially at the start of the year. This is no surprise to me. And it doesn't matter on roster and if Coop's there. They picked up guys. They made changes. Like, they've been Jekyll and Hyde for several years now. That's just who they are. They'll blow the roof off the place one game and they'll look like that the next. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Do I like it? Yeah, serves them right. I would have liked if it wasn't Inter, though, because you know what, actually? That's okay, too. That's okay, too. Let them get their head swell up right before we punch them in the mouth.
Bingo.
Boom. Boom. What do you guys think about Omer? What do you think about the demolition job there?
I haven't watched the match, just the highlights and scoreline. It feels well deserved, to be honest. Well, let's be like pragmatic and look at how things shaped up for Atalanta. They lost their three best player in every position: Scalvini to an ACL, Scamacca to an ACL, Coop Miners to Juve. Then there were rumblings about Lukman later on going to Paris Saint-Germain. Their defense is still kind of shambolic. And like you said, there are like a lot of hits and misses. They get their points from the smaller teams, and then against the top teams, they usually drop the ball when it matters. I don't know what to make of that team yet, but I don't give because just after everything we've been through with Coop Miners, I hope they get relegated.
Yeah. Don't care about Atalanta. Atalanta's the Italian West Ham. Inter's still the team to beat. Yeah, it's theirs. It's they're the ones that have to prove it. We're going to be playing with free money, and we just want to keep the pressure rolling. But like last year, we just don't want the anything close to that second half of the season. That's all. But I think in these early days, I've got a question too. Okay, before we keep it going. A couple games in, going into round 3, what we had for our predictions for top 4. Does anybody want to make changes to their top 4 Serie A predictions?
Oh,
Milan stinks.
Milan stink. Yeah, Milan stinks.
I think I'm going to keep Inter at 1. I apologize. But I think Juventus at 2. Milan, they had 2 guys during a heat break on the opposite side of the field.
Teo and Leao didn't bother going back.
But they only came on as
they just came on. There's a lot of
didn't need the cooling break.
Yeah, are they making something out of it? Are they not? Like, I don't know. Leao would be no stranger to some nonsense. Hernandez would not be any stranger to some nonsense or mix-ups. Fonseca's not going to last long.
Milan might drop.
I'll tell you right now, they're not going. He's not going to last long.
Like the first coach to get fired might be Fonseca. My money was on Conte just storming out the door. But now it seems that just because he's so who benches both Teo and Leao?
It's very strange when you get off to the start that they did to bench those 2 guys in that game. The fact that the second goal, that was beautiful. Leao's.
Beautiful play.
I don't get it. Conte also got saved yesterday with that card.
Yeah.
And they got
you
very
guys
fortunate
keeping Napoli in the top 4? You guys had them both in the top 4.
I think they hit that 4th spot. Milan, I'm not so sure about.
Bingo.
I'm not so sure about Milan. They got some problems. For now, though, I'll keep it the same. I'll keep those 4 sides the same. Milan, Napoli, Juve, Inter, in no particular order, but I'm not going to throw the order other than Napoli being 4th. 1 and 2, though, I'm safe. Like, I feel safe in saying if anyone is going to test Inter and put them to that limit, it's us.
Agreed.
Like, I don't see anybody else testing Inter whatsoever this season if it isn't Juve. And I am comfortable in saying that. Like, very comfortable in saying that. So, we'll see. Bino, Dybala, or Chico? best celebration. So Conceição, Conceição's got? What does he do? He like kind of covers. What's he do? I don't even
No
know.
idea.
I think it's in a photo I saw it. But I don't know what it's symbolic of. So somebody
While
might
you're
have
looking
to.
this up, while you're looking that up, we've done this before. Best celebrations. I think we did it last year.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
And mine
Dybala's
was
is iconic. It's very iconic.
the
And
first
I
person I ever saw do the bow and arrow was Gilardino. So that one was pretty good.
yeah, I think the let's call it aura. I hate that word. Of celebration is kind of gone. Like everyone had good
Agreed.
celebrations in the past that got the crowd roaring. Ronaldo, for everything you could say about him, his celebration is sick. The entire
Well,
stadium
everybody
is
does
in
it.
on it.
I
Everybody
don't know
does it.
what. So like Conceição covers his mouth and points to his head, but I don't know what that's symbolic
Yeah,
of.
I don't know
So
what it means.
I don't know what it means, but yeah, to be honest,
Maybe
uh,
it's shut up and think. I don't know what it
I
means.
I have no idea what it means. But Dybala's is sure iconic, but it's not in the top ones for me. Like if we're
You want to know
talking
some?
top
Oh,
Just
shelf.
high
that's
five the guy
overall.
who gave you the assist. High five the guy who gave you the assist, and get your ass back and get ready to do it again.
No,
That's
man,
it.
rip the shorts off like Vucinic and fuck it. Wave those fuckers around like
Yeah,
that. That's the Selly.
I
That's the
I
Selly.
love the Batistuta's silly.
Batistutas was
And
sick.
yeah, that one was awesome. Also, like, who was it? Pazzini and Luca Toni. They had like a similar celebration that they fed off each other because Luca Toni used to do like this. Like, did you
And then
hear?
you,
So Pazzini went like this. Did you see? And that was
Yeah,
when they played together at Fiorentina. That was their
yeah,
celebrations.
yeah. I love Batistuta Selly. That was always great, man. Bati goal. What a player,
That's
man.
my favorite one. That's my
What a
favorite
player.
one ever.
It's epic. Epic.
Mhm.
Is there a short list of guys on a free in January? Haven't seen yet.
No, I've
But
seen an
oh,
entire list of free agents. I don't know if they're all going to be free till January.
like, it's a big list. Like to pay, well, not Rabio, but there. I don't know if we posted or somebody else, Football Italia posted. There is a
No,
large list of free
I can
agents.
pull it out. I can pull it out. Give
Oh,
me a sec.
oh, the list.
Yeah, I
because
remember who posted it.
your kiss is on my list. Because your kiss.
Just a second.
Hall and Oates? Oh my god.
Hold
Let's
on, notes.
go.
It's a
Okay,
game
there
day,
it is.
baby.
There it is. I'll run through it because it's pretty long list. So goalkeepers: Ochoa, Karius, and Berisha. Defenders: Sergio Ramos, Hummels, Hermoso, not anymore. Sergio Arias, Cedric Suarez, Manolas, Gigi, Ozawa, Matip, Kayo. Midfielders: Rabiot, Dele Alli, Bakayoko, Pjanic, Klaassen, Prats, Rafinha, Muniain, Kandreva, Andre Gomes, Zungu, Alzate, Perisic. And forwards: Depay, Martial, Yazici, Ben Yedder, Unas, Niang, Balotelli, Chopomutin, Caputo, Destro. Success: João Pedro. I would take success just for the name.
No.
How many times were
That-
we linked to pay? I know his wages are high, and he
Yeah.
was
Oh,
training
every
in Monaco or something.
Memphis Depay would be sick, man. In my
I don't
opinion,
want.
with how we play, would be sick. But again, wages wages are kind of a thing.
Could be a problem.
Yeah. Team keeps cooking, who knows? Who knows? I might be in a minority, but I feel like Conceição would be amazing as a super sub. Give us the magic against more tired lineups late in the game. Oh yeah, I just think in general, this guy when he hits the pitch, I feel like he's gonna look like he got shot out of a cannon. Like that's the way this guy plays. If we can get him in the scenarios we've been consistently getting Weah in, even Cambiaso, no disrespect to either of those guys, but Conceição
No,
will
you just
torch. Like he'll torch if we get him in those 1v1 scenarios. And
Yeah.
this is a question I want to spin off of though, because I think he'll be effective whether he starts or he's a super sub. I think very highly of him as a player. But who's gonna be like who's going to have the most impact? Who's going to be that guy? Like, let's say who's the guy out of the players we signed incoming? Okay, who's going to be that signing that's probably the most impactful when we look at the incoming of Cope Miners, Cabal, Di Gregorio, Taram, Douglas Luiz, Nico Gonzalez, and Conceição? Like, who's going to be the guy? Cope Miners right away from Kenny D. I know we kind of said Cope Miners. I might have said Cope, but
No, we've said Louise, but that
yeah,
was before Miners was official. Uh, yeah, I think it's going to be Coop Miners as well.
think it's
I
Cope.
will agree only because we need goal help from the midfield. And he scores goals. We
Yeah.
need him to score goals.
I think Conceição is still a bit young, and it's the first time like that he plays in Italy, and it takes some time to get adjusted to the league and the tactics. So I think he'll have not a bad season, but not the best signing of the season. And I don't like the super sub role. Like I think everyone deserves a chance. Douglas Luiz was that because we couldn't bank on him surviving a full match.
I think it's going to be between Cope and Louise. If I'm looking for an outside signing that was like, I actually think could have a major impact by the time the season's done, it's going to be Cabal. Because I think Cabal's going to get so much time. He came in at what, 13 million? Was it 13 million? 12.8 million. There's 2 million in bonuses. His deal's payable over 3 years. He's making 1.2 million net. So this guy, that signing has the potential to be absolutely massive. So I'm just gonna say, I had to check back on that salary, flipping the notes. Well, hey man, prepared. We're prepared here. Okay? But no, I just literally did the Mercado recap, so I have it all like handy. That usually doesn't happen. That signing though could actually be massive long run.
Yeah, that's the kind of signings that when it works out, it seems like it's a good fit with low risk.
Is there a
Yeah.
position that we downgraded in?
Well,
No.
this was always the big thing with the Mercado. Not picking up a defender, not getting a Vice Vlahovic. But overall, if you look at the three phases, did the defense get better? You might argue no, but did it get worse? Absolutely not. Midfield, we're not even, like, it's not even a discussion. Did the attack get better? Yeah.
Absolutely.
We said goodbye to Fede.
It's the fourth one that might make the case. Like, but that's just personal opinion. Maybe we can look at stats, but Tech for Di Gregorio might be the only place that we might have downgraded, but I don't think we did.
Yeah. And in the
the
end, you got to
striker-
look at the styles, because would it have been a downgrade based on how much Tech's got to be on the ball?
Yeah, it's
Maybe
a lot
not.
of assumptions, and I don't have like a clear answer that
Yeah.
will satisfy everyone. It's just an opinion.
Yeah.
But still, I don't
It-
think we downgraded, but you can make the case that we did.
But
Yeah.
getting to the striker, we're comparing Keane, who had 0 goals, against a next gen player that we're going to bring up who also has 0 goals. So that's kind of a wash.
Yeah, I think we're covered in all the phases there. I think we're covered in all the phases. Seeing how Italian teams give us hell when it comes to their players, by when do you think Giuntoli will start mainly shopping outside of Serie A? Well, I believe it's already begun. I mean, he's definitely keeping tabs outside of the league. We got a little bit more financial work to do. 2025 is the year we need to comply and everything, but he's keeping tabs. Once we don't have to deal with, it's going to be very simple, I think, in Italy. It's going to be like, hey, you work evenly with us and we'll work with you. And those that don't or want to make it difficult, he won't have any problems moving away.
Well, you made the point at the beginning of the show. We're almost set for next year. Maybe fill in here or there. So we're not going to be buying anybody. We're not splashing any money like the Coop Miners money or all that. So, Serie A has been put on notice. I still think Giuntoli will do business, but it's going to be a while before we start buying any big ticket players. and that's going to hurt the league.
Yeah, like this is the thing: is something's got to give. And what have I always said when this comes up? In Italy, they won't. They just don't see it that way. Like they will die before helping a club that they consider a rival, even though we're not rivals with Atalanta, but we're everyone's rivals in Italy. That's the hilarious thing about it. But Omar's pointed out a million times. An old school guy like Galliani, he knows, he gets it. It's like, yeah, you keep the wheels rolling, you keep the business moving, you keep the discussions, you always keep that relationship there because you're going to need it too. But the other guys, they just don't realize it.
Yeah, the money needs to come from somewhere to those Italian teams. And where is it coming from? Who actually has money in Serie A to pay those huge sums?
But you know what it
Who
is?
can afford it?
It's Galliani. He has no problem saying to his fans, if they give him gears about, oh, you did Juve a favor, he'd tell them straight up, shut the hell up. Who was going to pay the money? And we need the money. He's straight up about it. These other guys want to put on the show. They want to put on the song and dance for their fan base. You know? And that's exactly what Atalanta did. Even Fiorentina has been doing it. And then it's like, when we are expected to help them with anything, Artur, the salary, etc., it's just expected. Like, oh, you got to do this, whatever. And then you're going to jump into media first chance you get and run with your anti-Juve campaign? Yeah, no thank you. You could pay up. And I'm happy Artur didn't pan out there and we didn't give them extra breaks like they wanted. He can sit on the bench for all I care. And yeah, if we pick up the whole salary, well, it is what it is. But no, you're out of favors.
It's not only Juve's job to sell Arturo. Some of that is on him and his agent. Like, you can blame Juve.
For sure. For sure. He could have even said, oh, let's just regroup my salary in general so that I could go somewhere and play. So it's on them as well. Harith coming in here. Dusan don't deserve that wage. In my opinion, Bremer should be the most paid. So Vlahovic, 22 million gross. Bremer at 9.6, I believe. 9.6 gross. Now, I mean, yeah, we all know.
You don't win games with a 0-0 scoreline. You need someone to score goals. And that's what
you got to keep them out. You got to keep them out to win, though. So Bremer's been the MVP. Like last year, he was hands down MVP.
Mm-hmm.
If we're gonna talk about who should be the highest paid player, like, yeah, and honestly, Bremer would be right there. I think Vlahovic should probably be somewhere close to him, but he should not be at 22 million. We always knew that. We knew that. We knew that this contract, when Arriva been in them, it was like, man, when that salary, the original salary was fine. Okay, you could deal with that. The jump from, what was it, 12 something to 22?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That jump was insane.
So Ant wants to give him 44, basically.
If he scores 35 goals this season, give him 44.
Oh, if he scores 35 goals, you can...
Jesus.
If you want to be considered a serious club, you do have to pay some of your players a high wage.
You just have to pay the right ones.
You have to keep it...
Hang on. Well, if he was some right winger who bitched and moaned all the time and threw his hands up every time he got a foul and wanted to double his salary, and now he's not with us, and he plays with an English club, I'd have a serious problem.
About anyone.
It falls down the line, though. You can't have any one player who, no matter who it is, and we saw the same thing with Ronaldo, and we fell into the same trap on shitty contracts with the rest of the guys down the line because it sets some type of tone. And guys, we can clearly see players and how they rate themselves and where their self-belief is, and almost on a whole nother friggin' stratosphere.
Yep.
It sets just a tough job for Giuntoli in moving forward, and you're going to constantly open up battles. 22 is crazy. Like that's
I think they're going to restructure it. I think Dusan
it
wants
has
to stay. I think they'll restructure it.
Yeah, like we said, 12. Okay, he's the highest, and he's got a $3 million gap to somebody. I could deal with that. I could live with that. Yeah, that's fair, and the guys are close.
It's going to be, I bet you, 16. What about 16 if they restructure it?
Too much.
Ooh, Jesus.
Yeah, having said that, I do
Too
agree
much.
that if that's the bar, Bremer deserves more.
Yeah,
He's
100%.
just as important as Vlahovic. And you know what? We're going to get a nice look into him and his abilities when he faces Holland. That's a tough ask, and not many defenders can do it. I hope Bremer can.
Yeah. Is AJC from Canada or USA? Well, some members. Anto, who's on earlier, is Scotland. Omer, he's over there, Europe as well. We got we don't really know. Parts unknown, like The Undertaker.
Exactly.
Death Valley, Pennsylvania. Listen,
Lou
this
and,
16 mil, I don't know. Any chance to see from the start, Nico or Coop, there was a shot for Gonzalez? I still say, despite that projected lineup, maybe one, but not Cope Miners. Cope Miners is definitely not starting today. Okay.
I don't even think he
he's
gets.
not going to the internationals. That's a good.
Yeah. Huge.
Do you think Coop even comes into the game today?
Yeah, I think it does.
Oh,
I think Cope will come in. I think he'll come in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of that welcome and that hello to the packed house, especially in a lead, which we will have. Oh, yeah. Do we see the legendary return of Massimiliano Allegri to Milan for a second time, and do they pick up Rabiot as a free agent? Do we see it? I think I wouldn't be surprised. Milan pushed for Rabiot. His demands got in the way. Fonseca's not going to last long, in my opinion. So Max will be in consideration.
Well, the question is how's Zlatan's relationships with Allegri, because he has coached him back at Milan. I don't think Zlatan would go for it.
I think the only way it
they
works.
have a slew of options, and
the only way it works is if Max takes a healthy decrease from what he was at Juve financially. That's the only way Zlatan will do it, in my opinion.
Whoa, hang on.
They're definitely not
What's
paying him.
Zlatan's job over there? What's his job over there?
He's like working
sort of in charge of the project, basically.
Yeah, he's kind of over. He's literally overlooking this thing with two other, but he's the face of it, right?
I did not know that.
Oh yeah, it'll be interesting.
Okay.
Hoping to go see a Juve match this season when I travel to Italy. Best section to sit in. I was thinking the 200s for reducing costs, and I was just at the TFC game, and the 200s were great. Opinion, honestly, man, I'd be happy anywhere in that stadium. They're all great seats. It depends on what you're going for. You want to get close to the curva and feel that around those sections is fantastic. If you want best view for both ends, center, obviously, and then Curva North, very chill, but then you're close to the visitors. So if you want to heckle them, that's it depends what you're really into, what you want to go for, right? But there isn't a bad spot in the house. Love it. Have fun too. If you end up getting there, there's nothing like it. Best goal celebration songs.
Songs of goal celebration.
Songs.
Gloria Estefan, Congo. Come on, everybody now. Come on. Best goal celebration songs, or what would we choose? What would you choose, Skanga?
Start with Omer on this. He's the music connoisseur here. So
because we had ours as Song 2 by Blur, and before that it was Chelsea Dagger, which I thought was awesome. But it reminded me too much of the Chicago Blackhawks in the NHL because they always played Chelsea Dagger, but I like that.
What, so I have to choose a song?
Clubfoot.
You know, the one that just pops off top of the head would be Thunderstruck. AC/DC, like after a goal, you want to.
No, but that's the intro song. They get on the pitch with that song.
I don't know.
They get on the pitch with Thunderstruck.
I would It will probably be a kick-ass metal song, like something that's right in your face, like "Walk" by Pantera or something.
See, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sure it's awesome.
something with
man.
huge bass that's make the stadium ramble when it
Make your
kicks in.
nipples fall off, like something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'd have to really think about this because there's so many epic songs. I have a feeling I would lean towards something by Metallica. Just
Yeah.
just me being me, it would be
Yeah.
something from Metallica. I
My
love
first thought was "Sad but True," but "Walk" just takes the cake.
Walk. Very
Yeah,
aggressive. Very, very aggressive, and I like it. I like
yeah.
it. Kiss, shout it out loud. Tia Tia, black and white. No, I'll pass on that.
Yeah.
Back in black. Not
Oof.
enough. Not enough of a
Not enough.
throat
No.
punch to the opposition. You
Yeah,
know, something that trolls the opposition. Oh yeah,
yeah.
we'd have to figure something out.
We really
We'd
got
have
to
to
think
figure
about this
something
one.
out.
Okay,
Let's maybe
there's a
we'll
song.
revisit that as
There's
we
a
go through some
song.
more. We'll think about that. We'll think about that.
I'll tell you later.
Leclerc might win the Monza Grand Prix. Well, let's see. Let's see.
Awesome.
Hopefully, realistic expectations for Juve in all 5 competitions.
We did this. Well, we can do it again.
I don't think anything's changed for me, but Skanga, go with
No.
yours.
So top 2 said yeah. I think Super Cup I said whatever. Just probably not make the final. Coppa Italia win. Champions League, just compete and make it to the knockout phase. And then we're still not sure if that Club World Cup's happening, right? You said that
It's up in the air right now, from what I'm hearing. So we wait
Okay.
for confirmation on that. Omer, you want to reiterate the expectations in all 5 comps?
No, exactly the same. First, maybe second in the league, quarterfinals in the Champions League. Should at least make it to the final or on the easy side of the bracket. In Coppa Italia, Super
Mhm.
Coppa, I don't think we'll win it.
I'm going to go Serie A. We're up there in the top 2. We're fighting for the title today. And Coppa Italia, I'm going to say win. Definitely hit that final, especially with the road we have. Hit that final. Supercopa, yeah, maybe another final there. And then
The annoying
Champions League,
thing
knockouts and
is,
be a bitch. Be a bitch
yeah,
to play.
I think like the Super Coppa based on the dates, because I didn't think Champions League would go all the way to the end of January. So I think the Super
Mhm.
Coppa is like right in between, maybe
It is.
between the first and
Should be.
second match. I don't remember the exact date, but that's kind of shitty. I don't like it.
Man, System of a Down, Chop Suey for a song, man. I love System of a Down.
Yeah, but I would choose like 10, 15 different songs before Chop Suey.
Ride the Lightning.
Yeah.
Last
It's
one,
gonna
I
be
think.
Rage Against the Machine songs that we could talk
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
right? Like what are we
Rage
talking about?
Against. Now we're talking. Okay?
You know,
Now we're
Fools on
talking.
Parade.
Rage Against the
Fools on
Machine,
Parade.
man. Oh, yeah. Renegades of Funk. That's a great song. But Know Your Enemy would be very aggressive.
See?
Know Your Enemy can be good.
Know Your Enemy
See,
would
once
be
we get back
sick.
to it.
Skanga coming out with Rage Against the Machine. Oh, my God. Love it. What do you think? Juve's Champions League. So we tackled that earlier on in the show. We all seem to like it. I think it's a perfect blend of tests with winnable games, a healthy amount of winnable games while being tested. And the spread is what I like. Playing certain clubs later on to build up some type of momentum and get your strength up before you're playing the biggest test in that draw. I like it. I like it. And I think the right games are at home for us.
Yeah.
The away
Yeah,
game to Leipzig's probably going to be the toughest one away. Villa will probably be a bit of a thorn in our sides as an away game, but I think very doable. Leipzig will be tough away, but I like how it's spread out for us. I like it. I like it. Now, guys, we're going to finalize with, do you guys have any questions, anything we need to touch on before we break out to our pregame rituals and get ready for the watch along, okay? 20 minutes before kickoff, I'm here rocking it with everybody. You guys got questions? Anything we didn't touch on that we need to?
You guys did a great show today, especially with Anto here. It was good to see him back. I think you guys covered a lot today.
Oh yeah, we were flying. We were flying at the start, but I don't think there's anything to.
No, after like 2-3 months, there's suddenly like it has calmed down right when the market ended. Like even doing the news this morning, there was basically nothing to post. It was just regular news from newspapers, but there was nothing interesting to post.
Yeah. Oh my God, you guys are still rocking with the songs, everybody. Okay, Stone Cold, Steve Austin.
I thought about that, but
man. And I tell you what, the beer sales through the roof in the stadium. If all of a sudden you're rocking Stone Cold songs, okay, you're playing his
make
theme.
sure they're not glass bottles.
Jesus, Stone Cold, Stone Cold, fantastic, man. That takes me back. So
Someone said the Kane song. Kane was my favorite character.
Somebody put that in here.
I dished out
too.
some stunners back in high school. That was amazing. Oh yeah.
Oh well, Sting has
pedigree was
Seek
my
and Destroy.
go-to move though, but this is a lot of setup involved in the pedigree.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have a willing participant. See, being the youngest I have older brothers, I had all the wrestling moves tested out on me back in the day. Figure 4, camel clutch,
Boston Crab,
DDT, Boston Crab, anything off the top rope.
The figure 4 was devastating. And that little reverse thing that they do when they spin, that does sweet fuck all. Doesn't work worth a shit, okay? Doesn't work worth a shit. It just hurts in general, okay? Terrible.
My favorite was the spear by Goldberg. Goldberg used to do the spear.
I've taken some of those, yeah.
F5 by Brock Lesnar was also
Never
sick.
got one of those.
The RKO's just legendary. It's just epic. You could slap that bastard on anybody at any given moment.
When you tried it, it kind of, you figured out it was impossible, like doing even a power bomb. I tried to do it.
The WWE and Juve collab. Well, they were at that. They were at an event, and it was all
the Fanatics.
Yeah, that's right. It was the Fanatics thing in New York, and they were dishing out kits to. I saw Rey Mysterio, but they also did to like Carmelo Anthony, and then Rhea Ripley was also there. She got one, so it's always cool when they mix up. And then there was one before. There was one before actually. I'm trying to remember who it had, but they were actually at Continassa, a couple of the wrestlers. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there were 2. Like I remember the Netflix special, they had 2 wrestlers there that were playing with Dybala and Costa. And I don't remember who they were. I haven't watched WWE for maybe 15 years.
Man, Leclerc did it. There you go. Dell saying worst is Walls of Jericho for the pain, discomfort. So funny thing about Chris Jericho, he's from Canada. My brother went to school with Chris Jericho. They went to the same high school and everything while we still lived in Winterpeg. Oh, I had to get out of there. That was just god-awful. Came out to...
Oh, my God. You lived in Winnipeg?
We lived in Winnipeg until 1992. We lived in Winnipeg, and then we came out here to beautiful British Columbia, which BC can also stand for bring cash, because it's insane. But, we came out here in 92. And 92, 93, like that's shortly after coming here is where things took off for me and Juventus.
I remember 1992.
Yeah.
The whole year. I remember the whole year.
Were you 30?
Man. Great stuff. You guys, it's time. It's time. Wrapping it up. Get ready for the match, okay? Hope to see you all for the live watch along. I'm fired up for this one. It's Juve's first test. You guys have seen the predictions, okay? Omer 3-0, Anto 3-0. I'm at 2-0. Skanga's dropping 4 goals, 4-1. Let's see what happens. We reconvene 20 minutes before kickoff. Hope you're jacked up and fired up too, okay, everybody? We'll talk to you real soon. Till then, fino alla fine. Forza Juventus. Let's see what Motta dials up for starting lineup. I think we'll see one change, all right? Look forward to it. Take care, everybody.
Set the tone.
Yeah.